Here's where we stand on the J. Turser P-base we found in somebody's garbage. All the little dings and dents and whatever over the course of filling them, priming, filming, priming, and sanding in between, they're all filled up. I've done more work on this one body. It actually hasn't been that bad, actually. The worst part of it was a huge gouge that was on the other side of this armrest cut here. So now the scary part, which I suppose it shouldn't be too scary, the Antiqua Finish. So we got a couple things to talk about here. The main finish here is going to be, it was originally going to be this, and we'll get to that here in a second. But this is the color I had in my brain. Now, on camera, it looks a lot creamier than, it looks more like cream. It's somewhere between off-white and cream. It's not as, well, what you're seeing here in the camera anyway. But it's called Navajo White. It's by Rust-Oleum. I love Rust-Oleum. Their Painter's Touch series is really good. You get a lot of coverage, as it says, and you don't use a lot of paint, and it just goes on great, as long as you prep your can. And for the burst part of the Antiqua, we're going to go with this suede. We're going to start with that anyway. At one point, I actually thought about using this as the main color, but it's a little too dark. Again, in the camera, you're not quite seeing what I'm seeing. This is kind of like a mix between like this and gray. So I think that would be a nice accent. And if that doesn't work, there's always actual gray, which a lot of the modern Antiqua finishes use. And when you look at older ones and they're all different colors and everything, that's mainly because of the clear coat. They use a nitro clear coat and those tint. So sometimes you'll find a vintage one that has a greener side, a browner side, or whatever. But they all start off something like this. And another thing to keep in mind is I'm finding out that Antiqua isn't necessarily the colors, it's the style of the burst. So let me wipe down the body. We'll get this thing outside and we'll give it its base coat. And here we go. Hard to see, but the first couple coats are on. So here's the body. We got the color on it. We used, if you remember correctly, Navajo White. You know, I'm making this video like a week after the last time I shot something for it, so I don't remember what I have and haven't said to you. I guess I could have just watched it, but regardless, I'm extremely happy with this color. This is exactly, and it's not really coming through on the camera, obviously, but it's exactly what I envisioned in my head. You know, a lot of times looking at the cap, you're like, oh, I don't know. But when you get it on the item and you spray it nice, the only thing I have here is like a very slight bit of orange peeling, which is to be expected with a rattle can. No runs, drips, nothing. Got a couple of nice coats on there. It covered very well. Very well. And now comes the part that I'm absolutely terrified about. The suede color being sprayed around the edges. Now I do have an airbrush, but I don't have a decent compressor. This right here is my setup. My buddy Mike of Irmo Custom Models. Great channel. Hasn't done much with it, but great resource if you like watching model builds and, you know, scratch builds of stuff. He sent this out to me because he wanted me to get into airbrushing with some of my props. So he sent this out to me, and I've used it a couple of times. This does what it can for however long it can, and sometimes it gets a little hot and you gotta shut it off, but I've been able to make it work. Maybe I should wait until I get a compressor. Atari 2600, one of the greatest consoles of all time. Yeah, I have to admit, I am extremely terrified of this next step, but we're gonna make that the next video. So this thing is starting to come along, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna order the pickups for it here in next day or so. I'm gonna wait till payday. They're only like 40 bucks anyway. I'm gonna keep the original bridge. I'm not gonna buy that high mass bridge. I'm just gonna keep the original bridge and not mess with it, because the high mass bridge has a little bit more height to it, and I don't want to have to shim necks and everything. This thing was already ready to rock and roll as far as I could see, but we also have to work on the neck. I didn't even think of that. Let's get the body looking good. We'll worry about the neck afterwards. Worst case scenario, I buy a cheap Fender P-Bass neck for the damn thing, you know, a Squire neck, or even one of those $40 ones off of eBay, and I just have to do a lot of fret work to make it look good. Maybe that'll be a good video. But yeah, so next video, I'm going to have everything all set up. I'm going to do it in the house. I don't feel like doing it outside because my table is like an 80 grit sandpaper. You know what I mean? I do a lot of spraying and Bondo and all kinds of stuff on there, and I do it haphazardly because it's just a cheap table I got for $5 for that purpose alone. So next video, you may just be watching me airbrush, but I'm not going to lie. I'm terrified. I'm terrified to do it. But again, worst case scenario, sand it down, try something different. And that's it. And that's the fun of the exploration of creativity and all that. And I hope that translates into this video. But more importantly, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. This channel needs to get huge. I promise you we got a lot of really cool stuff coming. And I would really like to make this a thing. I really would. Not so much the Atari Creep thing. I don't mind that being low-key, especially lately there's been some drama, and I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, I hope you're excited to come back and see where this leads us, because I know I'm excited to do it. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell and all that stuff so you know when I upload it right away. And that's all I got to say. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys are doing well. Be sure to creep it real. I say that on my other channel, so I might as well do it here too, right? And, yeah, until next time, I hope you're doing well. Take care, and bye-bye.